No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Caitlin Clark didn't just leave the court. She was wrecked, totally shattered. And no, this wasn't just another tough game. This was something way deeper. This wasn't about one little tweak or a random injury. This was a full-blown breakdown. And the fault, it goes way past the final score. What happened against the Connecticut Sun wasn't just about hard fouls. It was a complete failure from her coach, the front office, and honestly, the whole league. Want to know who really dropped the ball on Caitlin? Let's break it down, because this mess didn't come out of nowhere. The warning signs were all there.
Walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying. And I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening. But you could just tell that something happened on that play. And it was either the pain of it, it was either like, here we go again, it was frustrating.
Remember that quad injury in preseason? Instead of giving her the rest she clearly needed, what did they do? Shoved her back to Iowa for some flashy exhibition game. Why? For hype, for headlines, for sold-out seats. They used her name for attention instead of protecting her body, straight up wild. Then what happened? Mid-season, boom, same injury flared up again. And what was the brilliant response? A tiny break, and then right back into the storm. As soon as the pressure started cooking again, they just threw her in like nothing happened. No real care, just chasing the money. Now she's dealing with a groin issue on top of everything else. Injuries piling up like it's just part of the plan. Is this how they're running her into the ground? Because that's exactly how it looks. And let's not kid ourselves. If this were LeBron, Steph, or Luka limping out there, their teams would shut the whole thing down. They'd protect their star. But with Caitlin, they're just hoping she powers through it with a fake smile. And the wildest part, the actual play didn't even look that dangerous. Classic Clark dropped a slick backdoor dime that had the whole arena going crazy. But right after that magic moment, she froze. Didn't chase the play, didn't move, just grabbed her groin. One step, two, then bent over, locked in pain. The energy in the building flipped instantly. Cameras caught her holding her hip and her face. It said everything. No shouting, no theatrics, just raw, real pain. She tried to fight through it because that's just who she is. But this time, it was too much. She didn't jog off, didn't wave to fans. She limped away, slow, clearly hurting. Head down, hands covering her face. No performance, no exaggeration. This was real heartbreak, pure and brutal. And honestly, I've never seen Caitlin like that, not once. She's been hit, slammed, elbowed, even tossed like it's the WWE, and she's always bounced back, but not tonight. So what does that tell you? It's wild when you really think about it. Since day one, the league's been coming at Caitlin hard. Kennedy Carter straight up body checked her. Marina Mabrey tried to hit her like it was Sunday football. Every night, it's like she's walking into a war zone, and still, she gets up and keeps going. She doesn't whine, she doesn't stir up drama, she just keeps it moving. But tonight, nah, this one hit different. When she sat down and buried her face in that towel, that wasn't just about physical pain. That was everything catching up to her. She was worn out, drained, and crushed. Her body said, that's enough. Her mind was gone. Her spirit, shattered. You could feel it. This wasn't one bad fall. This was her whole body waving the white flag. And that moment right there should have had the whole front office sounding the alarms. If someone as tough as Caitlin Clark hits a wall this hard, it means they've been pushing her way past the limit. And for what? A regular season win against the Sun in July? Another packed arena? What's the real cost here? You don't drag your biggest star through the mud before the All-Star break and expect her to keep pretending everything's cool. What do you think was racing through her mind while she cried into that towel? Maybe, just maybe, she's starting to question all of it. And just when it couldn't get messier, the refs decided to stir the pot too. From tip-off, Connecticut was all over her, grabbing, holding, straight up mugging her off every screen. And the whistle? Nowhere. By the third quarter, she was done holding it in. You could see the fire in her, snapping at the refs after every missed call. Then during a review, the camera zoomed in close and caught her, clear as day. She looked at the ref and said, grow up, no filter, no soft talk, just pure, raw frustration. And who could blame her? This ain't some new issue. Caitlin's been the target since her very first game. The only difference tonight? She couldn't hold it in anymore. And honestly, good. Somebody had to call it out. The refs haven't stood up for her. Her coach hasn't either. So she did what no one else would, stood up for herself. But here's the real question. Why is Caitlin Clark the only one out here fighting for her own safety? You know what's getting completely lost in all this chaos? The fact that before the injury, Caitlin Clark was out there cooking. She dropped 14 points, handed out 7 dimes, grabbed 8 boards, and had a plus 21 while she was on the floor. She wasn't just playing, she was running the whole show, setting the tempo, making the offense move, getting everyone involved. When she was out there, Indiana was in control. But the second she sat down, Connecticut started creeping back in. That's how much of an impact she has. She is the difference. And even with the pain, the missed calls, and the cold stretches, she kept going. Then in the fourth quarter, right before everything came crashing down, she snapped. Smooth mid-range pull-up, slick backdoor cut, deep 3, free throws, cash, boom, boom, boom. That whole stretch, she locked the game up for Indiana, gave them the lead they needed, the momentum to survive. And then, her body finally gave out. That's the part that hits the hardest. She emptied the tank just to keep the fever in it. And when she collapsed, who had her back? Where was the support? Where was the accountability? Let's talk about Coach Stephanie White, because her rotations make no sense. Clark plays 4 minutes, sits 5, then back in for 3, sits 6. Like, what are we doing? How's she supposed to find rhythm like that? You ever try hooping with tight hips or a messed up quad, then sit cold and jump right back in? That's how careers get wrecked. That's exactly how you end up pulling something, cramping up, or worse, snapping something. And it's not a one-time thing. It's happening again and again. The wildest part? Coach White keeps yanking her right after she hits big shots or benches her in the middle of a hot streak. Like, what's the plan there? And then you've got her running alongside Ari McDonald, even when it's clearly not clicking. What are we doing? You'd think Caitlin would be treated like the franchise star, right? Nope. She's being rotated like a rookie off the bench, and now she's paying the price again. How long before Caitlin just throws her hands up and says, I'm out? Because from the outside, this doesn't look like strategy. It looks like chaos, panic, desperation, one big mess. Camp day, play Clark, all-star weekend hype, push her through it. Groin still sore? Who cares? Sell the tickets. Everything feels rushed. Every move looks reactive. Nobody's thinking about her long-term health at all. And let's not forget, she's being dragged coast to coast. Events, flights, interviews, appearances, when she should be off her feet getting treatment. She's battling a quad strain and a groin injury, but suiting up every night like she's 100%. Is the front office really this clueless? Or are they just counting on her to never say no? And of course, you heard what Stephanie White said after the game, right? She felt something in her groin. We'll get it evaluated. That's it? That's the whole response? No urgency, no concern, just a throwaway line like it's no big deal. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's the exact same line they gave us when she had that quad issue a few weeks back. And what happened then? She disappeared for 10 days. Before that, same script. Day to day, they said, then poof, gone again. So now they hit us with the same line about her groin, and we're just supposed to believe it's no big deal? Let's be real, Caitlin Clark's been coming back too early every single time, and every time she ends up worse off. That's not bad luck, that's straight up bad management. This is what happens when you treat injuries like PR spin instead of real medical problems. When your coach gives cold, robotic answers just to dodge the heat instead of being upfront, people stop trusting the process. And honestly, the fans deserve better. Caitlin Clark deserves way more than this. She ain't just some name on a jersey. She's the engine of the entire operation. She's why the stands are full, why ratings are up, why anybody's even watching. And if her own team can't be real with her, what makes us think they're being real with us? So what's really going on here? Are they protecting her or just trying to cover up their own mistakes? Because let's not sugarcoat it. It doesn't feel like caution. It feels like recklessness. So ask yourself, do you really think Stephanie White is being straight with us? Or is this just more smoke to cover another messed up call? And yeah, technically, Indiana won, but at what cost? 85-77 looks clean on paper, right? Kelsey Mitchell lit it up with 23 points. Natasha Howard was a straight monster in the paint. Sophie Cunningham came off the bench and made noise. You read that box score and it looks like a strong team win W. But here's the cold truth. None of that matters now, not even a little. Because all anybody's gonna remember from this game is Caitlin Clark limping off the court, tears in her eyes, her body breaking down in real time. That moment is what's burned into people's minds. That's what fans are carrying home with them. And honestly, that should have been a huge wake-up call. When your franchise player, the face of your team, and let's be real, the face of the whole WNBA, is falling apart right in front of the world, what exactly are we celebrating? How does anyone walk back into that locker room smiling when their leader just collapsed in front of the cameras? This was supposed to be a feel-good win going into the break. Instead, it turned into a bright red warning sign. So what's really happening behind closed doors in Indiana? Who's calling the shots, and why are they letting it spiral like this? This wasn't just some random game night scare. This was a full-on breakdown of the system. Coaching, medical staff, leadership, everything fell apart in one night. So let's stop dancing around it and ask the question nobody wants to say out loud. Was that win really worth it? Because from where we're standing, the cost looks way too high. It's time to shut Caitlin Clark down completely before the damage becomes permanent. No more limited minutes, no fake load management, no three-point contest, no all-star hype, and definitely no we'll see how she feels tomorrow. Cut the act. You can't keep sending Caitlin Clark out there like she's made of steel. She already played through a quad injury, now it's her groin. What's next? An ACL tear, an Achilles rupture? Let her rest. Let her actually heal the right way for once. Maybe then, just maybe, she'll come back strong in the second half of the season, if she hasn't already checked out mentally. And honestly, could you blame her if she has? Right now, they're treating her like a walking product, like she's just a body to parade around for ticket sales and jersey drops. But Caitlin Clark is so much more than that. She's the franchise. The reason arenas are sold out. The reason TV ratings are breaking records. The reason the WNBA is buzzing with millions of new fans. And now they're risking all of it. So here's the real question. Do you honestly believe the Indiana Fever are doing what's best for Caitlin Clark? Because from where we're watching, it doesn't look like protection. It looks like business. And if that's what this is really about, don't be shocked if one day soon she finally says, I'm done. And when that moment hits, don't act surprised because the signs, they're right here, right now. The Fever aren't showing they care enough to break this cycle. And if they keep pushing her like this, they might lose her for good. If this hit home for you, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Let's talk about it. And I'll catch you in the next video.